Well, hello there. I'm Professor A, and welcome to the Lyric Professors. Joining me as ever are Professor Dogger, who has done something particularly unpleasant just before we started recording. He's not in my good graces. And on the other side of the world, Professor J. How are things on the other side of the world, Professor J?
Things are very groovy, Professor A.
Yes, I noticed you've got a lovely new studio.
I've I have moved to the other side of the room because finally I've got a new computer, so I've decided that it's time to get a mic. So yeah, I mean it's the same stuff, just on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't really have a cord today, but it may be the first time that you can actually hear me. So I think this beast, has been on the channel before. This is my
Oh, it has the Bart one.
Cheapest Chips Bart Simpson Rocks guitar, and the one that I keep in a bizarre tuning with 5 chords.
5 chords.
Which goes like this. 5 strings, sorry.
Pretty good song right there, I'd say.
So yeah, so that's my advice today. Play around with tunings, very much like the chap we're going to be talking about today.
Indeed. Sorry, I'm just changing the colour on my label because you can't see who I am. There we are. No, you can just about see who I am. There we go. Right. Yes, the chap we're about to talk about today, as revealed last time for our ardent watchers, is a northern man called Sam Fender. What do you know about Samuel Thomas Fender, Professor Joe?
Well, before this, I didn't know. I kind of knew of him. I knew he was a northern lad. I knew his songs. He's kind of one of those guys who's always around, right? He's been around the last 4 or 5 years. He's got loads of songs. I listen quite a lot to Radio X. So he's big on Radio X. But apart from that, I wasn't aware too much of him. So let's dive in a little bit him. So Samuel Thomas Fender was born in 1994, which makes him
very
30.
young.
Yeah, well, it's older than I thought, actually. I thought he was younger than that. He is known for his high tenor voice and Geordie accent, layered over music characterized by a roots-oriented rock approach.
Should we just, for our international users, say what a Geordie is?
Oh, I was going to dive into that.
Oh,
so because that's contentious, right? So Geordies are people from the north of England, particularly around the Newcastle area. So actually, a Geordie is a nickname for a person from the Tyneside area of northeast England. But really, it's about the dialect, so the Old English dialect used by its inhabitants, also known in linguistics as Tyneside English or Newcastle English. And there are different definitions of what is what is defined as a Geordie. What do you think a Geordie is, and what's the other ones that you're aware of?
Well, I'd have said it's someone from the Newcastle area. The others, the ones from the Sunderland area, are called Mackems.
Mackems, that's right. Yeah,
and they are fierce rivals in sporting contests and such.
They certainly are. And Mackems are centred on Sunderland, and Geordies are centred on Tyneside, Newcastle on Tyne. Tyne being the river that flows through Newcastle. Yeah, so the thing is that people sort of say Geordies for people in that area, unaware that there are different, regions. And really, it comes from the language. So it's Geordie is a continuation and development of the language spoken by Anglo-Saxon settlers, initially employed by the ancient Brythons to fight the Pictish invaders after the end of Roman rule in Britain in the 5th century.
Excellent. Picts, of course, being Scots of that.
Exactly. So there is another group of people from the same area. It's called Pictish. So it's another ancient language. You've got Mackem, Geordie, Pictish. In terms of things that might be heard of sort of this Old English Geordie, probably the most famous is the one by the Venerable Bede.
Venerable Bede.
Yes,
Cat
which
lad.
it's one of the. I mean, obviously, Professor Dogger loves it.
Oh, she's well into the Venerable Bede.
So the Venerable Bede is kind of one of those names that I've known but didn't really know much about him. Now you've studied linguistics. What does
Yeah, I have.
the Venerable Bede do?
I haven't got a clue. I don't remember. I studied modern linguistics.
Yeah,
not venerable linguistics.
He did some stuff. It wasn't particularly interesting. So he was born in North Shields, which is on the north side of the Tyne. Have you ever been in that area much?
I haven't. No, I've never been to the northeast at all. It's it's north of Watford Gap.
So I did the Great Run, the half marathon, which actually starts in South Shields, which is south of the river, and is over towards the coast. And then you kind of run along. It's fairly flat because it's interestingly, it starts on a slipway of a motorway.
Oh, right.
You're all sort of like, it's one of the biggest. It's the biggest run in Europe, I think. It's 50,000 people do it.
I know it's shown live on the BBC every year.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. It's quite a fast race as well. So you start on South Shields, you cross the river, and you end up in Newcastle. I believe that's the way it is. Pretty good. So he was brought up in North Shields. What else should we? What else is your impression of Newcastle, particularly how it pertains to his songwriting?
From his lyrics, it's not much fun.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I really wasn't intending to pick yet another massively depressing person here. I thought he plays some lovely bouncy songs, but having studied his lyrics more, yeah, it's not much fun. It's got a very high suicide rate, so people might find that triggering in some of the lyrics. I do hope.
Yeah, trigger warning.
Yeah, and according to his lyrics, everyone's an alcoholic, but that's true or not, I'm not sure. Professor Dogger, what are you doing? Strange beast. Yes, and it's dreary and rainy, and well, so is the rest of the country, to be honest.
Yeah, doesn't differentiate it very much, does it? Yeah. So let's talk about Sam Fender. So he had a tough life, right?
Yes.
Should we dive into that? He had.
I think some, a lot of it will come out in the lyrics, but yeah,
yeah, okay. Well,
the second show.
Yeah, he had a tough life with his, his parents. His mother left him quite young. He was sort of brought up in all sorts of places. But the principal thing is that when he found the guitar, which was given to him by his father when he was 8 or 9, I think.
Because his father was a musician as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. He just fell in love with it, and he found that as his vocation, and he just threw everything into it. And in an interview I read about him, he was saying that he has sort of ADHD or something like that, which really allows him to focus on the music. So that's how he managed to get so good very quickly.
It should really stop him focusing on anything, to be honest.
Well, let's say he's mentally divergent.
I think it's more sort of autism that would maybe.
Yeah. Whatever neurologically divergent thing he has allows him to focus very closely on music, which meant he got really good very quickly. He was playing in pubs at a very, very early age. So he released several singles independently and was named one of BBC Sound of 2018. Then he signed to Polydor, released his debut EP Dead Boys in November 2018. And then he's just won everything since then. He won the Critics' Choice Award at the Brits for Hypersonic Missiles. His second album, 17 Going Under, was released in 2021. Topped the UK album charts.
Professor Dog is chasing a tail. Sorry, I'm not laughing.
Yeah, and then he won the Brit Award for Best British Alternative Rock Act.
Yes.
And he also, what's come up before several times, he won an Ivor Novello for the
Some
best
bloke award. Yes.
That's right. But he won that for the best song musically and lyrically, so that's why it's a good choice, Professor A.
Yes, absolutely. Perhaps we should just go through the Ivan Novello list. It might be easy. Yeah. Well, I should point out that in the order of songs we are doing in this three-parter, I based them on chronologically by album release, which is actually completely wrong as to when they were written and released as singles. So it's a bit confusing, but I never. Well,
it is what it is. The other thing that as a guitarist I find funny about Sam Fender is his name.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So he's Fender, and actually, when he started, he was playing Gibson. He was playing
traitor.
Force, he says, reaching for a Gibson, and then when the music group Fender caught on that he was going to be big, they started giving him guitars, as you can see in the picture there. He's playing, and I believe he plays Jazzmasters. So I believe that's a Jazzmaster headstock. The one thing that is interesting, which comes back to this guitar, maybe we'll go through it next episode, is the fact that he uses Nashville tuning.
Oh, right.
So let's do that on the next episode. Yeah. I'll put that as a teaser.
I've not heard of it, so yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's dive in. So the first one we've chosen is Hypersonic Missile. I'm going to really struggle to not say this with a Geordie accent. So should we just dive into the lyrics?
Yeah, okay, let me find the lyrics. Yes, why not?
Okay. Dutch kids huff balloons in the parking lot. The golden arches illuminate the business park. I eat myself to death, feed the corporate machine. I watch the movies, recite every line and scene. God bless America and all of its allies. I'm not the first to live with wool over my eyes.
Yeah, there's a verse. Exactly.
So, I mean, talking about Sam Fender and looking at his lyrics, he kind of reminds me of Jarvis Cocker and Pulp. He's really telling a story about his life. Jarvis Cocker maybe was a bit more imaginative. It's not imaginary.
Yes, sure.
Whereas Sam Fender's lyrics are really autobiographical.
Yeah.
And they are describing something very, very real.
Yes, they are. You have to wonder when he's going to run out of autobiographical lyrics and have to make something up. But yes, I think the person who's most... Professor Dogger, I am trying to put your point across for you. Okay, let me try. The person he's most commonly compared to is Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce, okay.
The Boss, yes.
The Boss.
Which I can definitely see in some songs, specifically the second one we're going to be doing today.
Okay. Can I ask a quick question? Where did this song peak on the UK single charts? What number?
Not very high at all.
Yeah.
180, something like that.
Oh well, yeah, 48. I don't think it's recorded. If it doesn't get into the top 100, I don't think it's even noted.
Yeah, well, it's a great song, but it's very sort of politically aware / active, and that kind of thing doesn't seem to do that well in the UK charts for some reason. So,
okay, so let's
Dutch kids huffing balloons in the parking lot. I assume this is referring to nitrous oxide being used as a drug, which is sold in balloons, and apparently it's particularly popular with Dutch youth.
All right. The first time I saw that was when I was traveling in the east. I don't mean the east or the northeast of the UK, but in sort of Laos and Vietnam in like 2014. And there it was rife at the time. I think it was before it made it over to Europe. It was really big over there, so you'd see the canisters and the balloons everywhere. Yeah. And now it seems massive over here.
I don't know. I don't do drugs. So. Yes.
That's like a baby drug. Well, that's yeah. So
I was back in the day. I was giving it to the dentist, and I can't imagine why anyone would want to take that for pleasure. It's just horrible. Made me feel so sick. Plus, you've got the fact
Oh,
your
yeah.
voice goes sky high. Very silly.
I have no experience.
Well, back, I'm old enough that was the treatment given to you if you were having dental work done, the anaesthetic given to you, which is not the case anymore.
Laughing gas. Yeah. Yep. So kids are in the parking lot getting high. The Golden Arches, referring to McDonald's, of course.
McDonald's, yes. Which is, it's. I think I live in the one town in the UK where McDonald's had to close down.
Oh, really?
Don't have one anymore. Yeah,
Oh,
couldn't make it work. This town
oh.
is just not great. All we've got is charity shops and nail bars. Yeah,
That's all you need.
yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, he feeds himself to death. The corporate machine. I mean, it's it's a dark indictment of current state of affairs, right?
Yeah, someone on Genius suggested that the business park being illuminated by a McDonald's sign was the Silver Link Business Park in Wallsend, a few miles outside Newcastle. Why, how they know that, and why it's not just a random one, I have no idea. But there you go.
I mean, there's mixing up a few things here, sort of globalizing it, right? So
Yes.
you've got Dutch kids in the parking lot. I'm guessing they're not in Tyneside.
Well, they might be.
And then you've got, I mean, it's close actually. The connected by the sea. It's quite close. God bless America. So it's hopping globally, I would say.
Yes, yeah. Watching the movies, reciting every line and scene. I remember I used to be really into movies in my teens and early 20s, and I would recite scenes and lines and things. I don't know why. I can't remember the last time I watched a movie. I have the attention span for it anymore. Yes.
Well, I still do. Mainly of movies I watched in my 20s and 30s.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, so he's just saying that, you know, people are just following what they're told to do. Eat this crap.
Yes.
Watch these movies, enjoy the movies, repeat the lines.
And he's described it as a corporate machine, so it doesn't matter what business it is. It's sort of just big business.
Yeah.
Like big pharma or whatever. Which I don't know about. Yes, God bless America and all its allies. God bless America is a common statement among Americans because they are God's country, apparently. So they say. Sorry, I haven't American baited for several episodes. I will try not to today. And America and all its allies, of course. Governments. We apparently have, or we did have, a special relationship with the USA. It was a thing that was quoted on the news for political purposes. I think that went with Trump. But we were meant to be America's favourite ally, and they'd never let us down. They'd support us in everything. So I guess God bless America and all its allies means we're just part of America. New Model Army, the goth, crusty band, did a song called 51st State, which suggested that the UK was the 51st state of America.
Oh, wow. I was not aware of that.
Great song. Yeah. We should do that someday. We've done all the other.
Yeah, we should.
Done all the other dodgy goths, haven't we? Let's face it.
We're running out of our dodgy goths.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's saying that he's living with wool over his eyes. I think that really paints the picture of
that obviously being duped, being an expression being duped by your government.
Yeah. All right. Next verse. I am so blissfully unaware of everything. Kids in Gaza are bombed, and I'm just out of it. The tensions of the world are rising higher. We're probably due another war with all this ire. I'm not smart enough to change a thing. I have no answers, only questions. Don't you ask a thing. All the silver-tongued suits and cartoons that rule my world are saying it's a high time for hypersonic missiles. When the bomb drops, darling, can you say you've lived your life? Oh, this is a high time for hypersonic missiles. I mean, this is very topical with the kids being bombed in Gaza, right?
It is. If you give me a second, Professor Dogger has dropped her toy and is about to start barking, so I've got to pick it up for her. There you go.
Bless. Bless her and her lyrical genius.
Absolutely. I hope she commented some good things. Why I didn't have my headphones in. I don't know. Right, where were we? Yes. And I think the blissfully unaware line, people to have a tendency not to really be that bothered about things if they're not affecting their own country, their own family. Kind of thing. I guess there could be all kinds of terrible things going on in the world, and there are. And if it's not something that affects you, or indeed something that's reported on your news. I know a lot of bad things have happened in the world recently, and they've got maybe half a day of coverage, whatever, and then they never mind that anymore. Someone in Parliament's done something with a pig. It's just localism as opposed to globalism, I guess. And the sort of "I'm all right, Jack" attitude that people seem to have these days, which kind of went away a bit with COVID, but now seems to be back in full swing. As long as number one's okay, forget everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what he says there. There's wars going on, bombing in Gaza. Like I said, it's more topical than it was.
No, do you reckon in under Operation Protective Edge in 2014, they killed 16,000 Palestinians, including 500 children, Palestinians even, including 500 children. So there has been a lot of deaths going on for a lot of years, and I guess that comes down to the blissfully unaware thing. Again, people just don't know it.
Yeah,
until an actual war
true.
breaks out, no one pays that much attention to what's going on over there.
That is true. Do you watch the news?
No, I don't. It makes me angry, so I just don't.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know how I get the news. I don't follow any news.
Well, I get the news from such international things. If my mother calls me for a chat or whatever, she'll say, "Oh, did you see what's going on?" I said, "No, I didn't, because I don't watch the news because it makes me angry."
Whose voice was that? Was that your voice?
Your no, that's my mother. She's sitting in the corner. So no. So yeah, I guess blissfully unaware. I'm as guilty of it, probably more guilty of it than anyone.
Professor M, Professor Mother. What?
Yeah, she loves a bit of news, Professor Mother.
Right. So silver tongue suits. What's silver tongued mean?
Good with words. Gift of the gab. Having kissed the Blarney Stone, as one for our Irish listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where does that come from, that saying?
Silver tongued or kissing the Blarney Stone?
Sorry?
Which one?
Silver tongued.
I don't know.
Comes from the Bible.
That's it.
It says, trying to find it. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. And I can't find it.
While you're doing that, at the time this, I'll just say, at the time this song was written, this is again from Genius. There were massive conflicts going on in South Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, and Sub-Saharan Africa, including Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia, and Yemen. We didn't hear about any of those really in great depth, I don't think. So, going on the blissfully unaware.
Yeah, and you could probably still say that now, that those things are still going on. So yeah, so it's in. Okay. It's in. It's a passage in Proverbs 10:20. The tongue of the righteous is as choice silver. The heart of the wicked is worth little.
So they're actually saying that someone who speaks glibly is righteous.
But they also talk about the silver-tongued devil. But with a silver-tongued devil, you normally think of as being cheeky rather than.
It's not an expression.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a smooth talker, right? That's what he's saying here. And then he mentions hypersonic missiles for the first time. Have you seen the video for this?
I have. It's a bunch of people riding little bikes around.
It's a bunch of kids having fun.
Yes.
While missiles. Oops, my piano. missiles coming to end the world are approaching.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of quotes, but we can do those at the end.
Okay. Dive into some more lyrics.
Hold on. No,
Oh,
we're not going to just miss out half the chorus. When the bombs drop, darling, can you say you've lived your life? I think have you done anything before? Your life and everyone else's could be snatched away in a second by one of these missiles. So perhaps you should get on and do something worthwhile. And it also seems like he's there talking to someone. It's changed from a global thing to a singing to a love interest.
yeah.
And should we actually say what a hypersonic missile is?
Go for it.
Oh, okay, I've got to find it now.
It's a missile that goes faster than the speed of sound,
Yes,
presumably.
but I think the ones he was talking about that were developed by the Russians was about 6 times the speed. So, yeah.
Is that the noise they make?
Yeah, absolutely. I probably shouldn't say it, but I know of someone, a relative of a friend, who has worked with testing hypersonic missiles in a European country, but has been there's official secrets acts and things, so I probably shouldn't have said that much. Certainly not name those. So yes, they are a very real thing, and Russia pretty much started the conflict with Ukraine by firing one into Ukraine in 2022.
Yeah.
So, nice.
Yeah. Beautiful. Anything else to say on that bit?
No, you carry on.
Okay. Cities be like tumours all across the world, cancer eating mankind hidden in our blind side. They say I'm a nihilist because I can't see any decent rhyme or reason. The life of you and me, but I believe in what I'm feeling and I'm firing for you. The world is going to end, but till then, I'll give you everything I have. I'll give you everything I have.
Yep. Stop that. Yes, so nihilism. Oh, cities like tumours all across the world. Yeah, it's just a continuing encroachment into nature by humanity.
Yeah.
A cancer eating mankind hidden in our blind side.
It's nice.
Yeah. I guess, like the cancer being an unseen threat, you don't necessarily have any indications of it coming. You might, in some cases. So yeah, saying that all these threats aren't necessarily obvious. Yeah, nihilism. What do we know about nihilism?
Nihilism is the sort of belief in nothing, that everything's going to end, right?
Yeah, existential nihilism is seeing life as inherently meaningless and the futile creation of meaning as a futile, absurd, and even deluded mission. The person given credit for it as a thing was Friedrich Nietzsche.
Mm. There's
called
nothing
it-
Nietzsche couldn't teach about the raising of the wrist.
Yes, good old Monty Python.
We'll be coming on to Monty Python later if
Shall
the
we?
quiz happens.
Oh,
If the quiz happens.
we'll take it on. The death of God. His concept was saying the decay of Christianity is the source of purpose and morality in Western civilization, as people realise that nothing's worth a damn thing anyway. Yeah, and then obviously he's carried on with his he's singing to his love interest now as opposed to general front.
Mm-hmm.
He can't see any decent rhyme or reason for being alive, which is a nice thing to say to your partner. But he knows the world's going to end, and presumably suggesting soon. But he's going to give his partner everything he has. Oh, we lost Professor Toggo for a second.
Oh.
She's back. Good. Yes.
Yeah. So more lyrics. Then we've got a whole load of OOOs. Oh, come on. And then
the OOOs apparently were performed by fellow Northeast artists, The Pale White, and A Festival, A Parade. So
never heard of them. Any good?
No, well, they're mates of his in small bands.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Then we've got a final versey chorus. Not really sure what the structure is. which is lyrically, it's kind of just confirmation of what he's already said. All the silver-tongued suits and cartoons that rule my world are saying it's a high time for hypersonic missiles. When the bomb drops, darling, can you say you've lived your life? Blah, blah, blah. They all do the same, only their name changes, honey. You can join their club if you're born into money. It's a high time for hypersonic missiles. Repeat, repeat.
Yeah, well, the only important bit there is they all do the same, only their names change, honey, etc. I think he's just commenting that, especially in this country, politicians are nearly all from the same upper middle to high class background. Doesn't matter which party they represent or what they claim their policies are. They're all the same. They come from well-off families and private schools. So that's. Can you stop squeaking? So yeah, if you've got enough money, you can be one of them. If you're born into it, yeah. It's just a condemnation of politics in general, I think. Governments in general.
So, an interesting review I read of it is something I'd like to talk about, and that is that since we finished the lyrics, the song is focused on the narrator, who says that he is a complete tinfoil hatter. Now, is he a tinfoil hatter, or is he a realist? I guess it depends on your viewpoint, right?
That's interesting, suggesting that Sam Fender himself doesn't share the view of the tinfoil hatter, whereas so many of his songs are this kind of concept. So I'd have thought they were his beliefs. Below, there is another song on the second album, which we're not going to cover, called I, A-Y-E, where he sings something like, I'm not a something anymore, I'm not a lover anymore, I'm not anything anymore. Like he just can't be bothered dealing with this stuff because there's just no way he can change it, so nihilism again. So I think these were his views. Now he might be saying they're not.
Oh, really? Okay.
He might be, I don't know, because he's saying the narrator is a tinfoil hatter. A tinfoil hat obviously being suggested that someone would wear this to stop their brainwaves being monitored by the government or whatever. It's a conspiracy theory thing.
Yeah, conspiracy theorist. I mean, it depends on your opinion.
But I don't think the things said in this song would.
They're not too out there, are they?
No, you don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to know that people are being killed in Gaza.
That's why I'm surprised by that.
I agree. Do you want to quote?
Yes.
All right, Gracie. Oh, sorry, gave her name away. All right, Professor Dogger, stop it. So this is a quote he said in March 5th, 2019. This song started out when I saw the term hypersonic missiles in a newspaper. It's a newly developed Russian missile that travels at something like 9 times the speed of sound, which is essentially unstoppable. America currently has no defense against such a weapon. They'll be helpless in the wake of an attack, as you have roughly 6 minutes from the time it is launched to the time it strikes. In many ways, Hypersonic Missiles is an unorthodox love song. Its main focus is on the world around the narrator, who is a complete tinfoil hatter. They are convinced the world is on its last legs. They know that it is rife with injustice, but feel completely helpless and lacking the necessary intelligence to change it, or remaining hopelessly addicted to the fruits of consumerism. Amongst all the chaos is love and celebration. There is this glimmer of hope that runs throughout the song, a little notion, no matter what happens, these two people are going to have a bleeping good time, regardless of the tyrants that run their world, regardless of the imminent doom from these hypersonic missiles. So yeah, he's definitely saying it's a narrator, not him. Whatever.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good song. I like it. It's well written. It's the video's good. It's worth a watch. The video. Quite sad. It's quite an indictment on society, isn't it? But yeah, good choice on these happy songs.
Oh yeah, it gets worse from that one.
Yeah, I know. All right,
that's the bouncy one.
We dive into the next one.
Yep.
All right. So next one. Oh no! Wait.
Oh no! Sorry, I need to play my sting. Hold on. Quiet.
It is time for Professor J's word count.
Why did it say 1, 2, 4 on the sting?
That was a joke. That was the joke.
I've only just got the joke. Right. How many words? What's your guess?
150. And
Unique or actual?
150 actual and 100 unique.
Wow, so a ratio of 2/3 of
Yeah,
unique
right,
to actual. So it's 330 words with 153 unique. Quite long.
It is. It's about 4 minutes. Yeah, it's long in lyrics. He does speak quite quickly. You know?
He does. All right, next song is The Borders. So officially it's from the same album, but as we said, they're all a bit fluid as to when they came out, so 2019-ish. Okay. Lyrics. We were like brothers. Everybody said we looked the same. You a little taller and broader and bolder. We were afraid of your mother. Hell, she used to hit you so hard. And your dad took off when you were a baby. And you still hate me for my dad stuck around. You pinned me to the ground. 8 years old with a replica gun, pushing in my skull, saying, "You're going to kill me if I tell." Never did, and I never will. That house was living hell.
Come on. Yeah, I think we should mention, again, this is autobiographical, semi-autobiographical.
Yeah.
Sam Fender's parents broke up when he was 8, and his mother moved up to the Scottish borders, although that is not what the borders means in this song. After his father and stepmother then kicked him out of their North Shields home, and he moved back in with his mum, so he spent quite a while growing up in Scotland. And then he returned to North Shields as a teenager, I believe. So,
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly. I mean, it's the details aren't right, but it's clearly.
well, it's directed to
semi-autobiographical, right?
Yeah, it's directed to a mate, presumably in Scotland, when he was growing up there. What's he doing now? Oh dear!
That's a dogger.
Can't do anything with it, can you? I mean, it's just what's it for? Right. Anyway, so yeah, he's talking about a mate he grew up with who was sort of slightly bigger than him. They were afraid of the friend's mother, who used to hit the friend. And this is weird when it says your dad took off when you were a baby and you still hate me because my dad stuck around. Well, as I just read, his dad and stepmom actually kicked him out when he was 8. So,
well, that's my point. It's not about him. It feels autobiographical, but all the details are wrong. So it's clearly.
Oh, Grace. Sorry, Professor Dogger, stop it. Oh, you're being such a pain today.
So it's an imagination of something similar to has happened in his life, I would say.
Okay. Yep. The line "you pin me to the ground," that's people pinning people to something. It comes back several times in the song.
Yeah.
So at first it's some innocent kids play fighting.
So what do you think he's referring to about the bit was you're going to kill me if I tell? Tell what?
I don't know. See, they have some kind of secret. Tell that his friend was abused, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Not very nice of him.
No. Let's go on with some more. Next verse. I remember my mother when she found a new man, and your mother thought she found a partner and father for you. No wonder you can't stand me. I can't stand me too. I can't stand me too. Oh, your godmother repaired the anger in me, spoke to me like I was an adult, didn't take sides and didn't turn me against my dad. Then she took those pills and now she's gone.
Didn't have anything specific. I think it's fairly straightforward. Both their mothers found.
I don't hear you anymore, Professor A.
Why not? I don't know. And we're back after a little technical error. I can't remember what we were saying, Professor J. What were we saying?
We had just read the lyrics. And I don't think we said anything else. So again, it's this kind of semi-autobiographical thing about parents splitting up, comparing himself to this childhood friend or acquaintance. And then there's this a bit, no wonder you can't stand me, I can't stand me too, indicating that this friend, schoolmate, would be jealous because he had like a father figure and he didn't, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, you're right. Look at it; it doesn't make no sense. But why
And then there's
why would he be angry at the narrator for having a father when he's just got a new partner too? His mum's got a new partner too. I don't know. Would you stop that?
yeah, but he says, and your mother thought she found a partner,
Oh, I
so
see.
obviously she didn't.
Right.
So
And there's a godmother floating around as well.
yeah, your godmother who's been nice to him. So I don't know if it's a friend or maybe like a cousin, because when he went north to Scotland, his mother was with other people. Was there family?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. Anyway, so there's unfortunately, this godmother who was very good to him took some pills and now she's gone, which is difficult to talk about. So again, it's this very dark sort of personal history. Let's have some more words. See her in the night, there in the corner of my eye, and I see her in the night.
Yeah, so he's he's either dreaming about this godmother or he's seeing her manifest as a spirit. Who knows?
Yeah.
I know he's got other songs like poltergeists and things, so maybe he is interested in that.
Yeah.
That is a song that was just too depressing to include among the depressing ones, frankly.
Yeah. Then final verse, heard you glassed a boy back in the borders. Some naughty family boys are after you. You pinned me to the wall and said my mother stole your inheritance from you. Oh, yeah? We ain't got a penny between us. Holding up this tin that we live in. You pinned me to the wall and smashed a bottle. Your eyes, the door to hell, and all within. Ah.
Yes, it's actually we ain't got a penny between war. But yes, that's Geordie for us. Yes. Yeah. So he, the friend, glassed a boy in the borders. Obviously, meaning smashing a bottle or glass and then doing damage to someone else with it, which is not very nice at all. So it could be the borders of Scotland where they met, presumably, or it could be the Borders Terrier, a pub in North Shields. So they could have renewed their acquaintance back in the north of England.
Okay.
Could be there. It's just, and then after he's done that to some boy in the Borders and some naughty family boys, proper naughty family boys, some members of the family of the person who was glassed want to obviously get revenge on the friend, but also then he's now pinning the narrator up against the wall and about to glass him too. It's not very nice. The reason I included it is because I saw a live concert by Sam Fender, and he said it was his favourite song from this album.
Wow. Okay.
It's very Springsteen-y. It's got a saxophone solo. Yeah, it is. It's got a very nice guitar solo in it.
Yeah.
It's musically a good song. It is ridiculously depressing.
Have you seen the video?
I think I have, but I can't remember what it was.
It's just a lot of fighting.
Oh,
and
yes.
then there's a bit at the end when somebody gets pushed off the wall.
Yes.
And it's a bit unclear who pushes who, but someone falls off a
It's a
high building and
toxic
dies.
friendship.
Yeah, and again, reading about his life, it feels that he's saying that he had an escape or a lucky escape, and that he knows some people who grew up in the same situation as him who have been in things like this. They have got into trouble fighting, attacking someone, so their gang or their family have killed him. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's,
Would you like a quote?
quote me up.
So, quote from Sam Fender talking to his good friend Elton John on Apple Music. Apparently, they're good mates.
Elton John gave him a couple of
Oh,
guitars.
he did, didn't he? That's right. That's right, Professor Dogger. He said it was the catalyst for his 2021 17 Going Under album, this song, which is centered on his growing up and coming of age. It kind of opened up the door. It opened up a Pandora's box of all these memories and things that I could delve into and write about. And it's one of my favourite songs on the album. So, yeah. Basically, this set him off doing a almost entirely autobiographical second album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to hold on, Sting?
It is time for Professor J's word count.
You want to guess?
That's not, I don't know, because again, I haven't pasted in recycled bits. 250, 100.
Pretty good. It's 250.
Oh,
Well
wow.
done. And 135.
All right.
Pretty good. So again, I mean, one day we're going to do an episode where we compare all the lyric lengths from all the people, and I do have an Excel tracker.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Apart from LDR, these are the longest
Really?
so far. Yeah. There we go.
Although, we don't know, you're not counting the ones we did in our former attempt at the podcast.
Former
So I think
incarnation.
Marillion would have won it quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we? Anything else to say on that one?
No, not really.
Okay. Let's move on to another jolly Fender song. The jolliest of the lot. So this one is called Dead Boys.
This is the one with the trigger warning, although there was also the same trigger in the song before, so hopefully you heard it.
I mean, it's just trigger my trigger. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's get him. The anniversaries are short-lived, but they come back around at a breakneck speed. My world spins so fast. The centrifugal force keeps me stuck in the middle.
Oh, that's it. Right. Okay, anniversaries are short-lived. So the song's called Dead Boys. So obviously it's about some dead boys. So they're remembering these dead boys for a shortly sort of raise a glass to whoever. But I guess the implication is they don't have time to do lengthy celebrations because there's so many of them to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or, I mean, I think that's right. The other way that I interpreted it, also reading anniversaire a different way, is that they don't have many birthdays. Anniversary is also the word for birthday.
Of course, yes.
So maybe it's short-lived, meaning that they didn't have many birthdays, so they didn't live very, very old. Yeah. So he's observing this, that boys are dying, and he's sort of still stuck in it.
Yeah, the world spins so fast, it's a dizzying whirl. Whether he's talking about the fame and the music and the concerts he's playing and that kind of thing. I think he's saying that as a sort of differentiation between him and the other boys who are not able to get out of
Yeah, maybe.
Shush.
Actually, I don't see it like that. I think I think that he's not talking about his life. I think he's talking about his life when he was younger, that people were so busy doing things, living, surviving, that they didn't have any chance to address the issues that are causing these boys to be dead. That's the way I see it, rather than anything else.
Sure.
Okay. More words. We close our eyes, learn our pain. Nobody ever could explain all the dead boys in our hometown. We close our eyes, learn our pain. Repeat. So that's the chorus, I guess.
Yes, and they repeat all the dead boys in our own hometown.
Yeah.
So obviously it's we close our eyes. So he's saying it's not just him who's been unlucky and lost lots of mates. Everyone has in the area.
Yeah.
And it's sort of taken as a given that he's talking about suicide. I mean, obviously he is because of some of the other lyrics.
Yeah.
But also, I think there's a lot of drug problems around
Yeah.
that neighbourhood, so it could also be people passing on from drug complications.
Yeah.
I guess nobody ever could explain. That's pretty much similar. That's pretty much what people say when someone commits suicide. Oh, they never showed it. They always seemed so happy. They were such a promising footballer or whatever, which always comes out for some bizarre reason. I don't know. I had no idea they didn't seem the type.
I mean, I think the thing is, what he's saying is that people just don't know how to deal with their emotions,
Yes.
you know. And at some point, he refers to another song in one of his comments. In fact, he refers, or I've heard it referred to, "Boys Don't Cry" by The Cure.
Yes, yeah, he said it was
So
partly
saying,
based on that.
yeah.
That wasn't this one, was it? That was Spitting
Yeah.
You, was it? Oh,
No,
it
this
was this one.
he said about this one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, men don't deal with it; they just shut up and carry on, right? Anyway, more lyrics. We all tussle with the black dog, some out loud and some in silence. Everyone round here just drink because that's our culture. So, what's the black dog?
Well, this is something which is a quote that's often wrongly attributed to Winston Churchill. He did mention it, but he wasn't the one who coined it. Black dog of depression follows around. Yeah, in a 1910 letter, Churchill wrote about fighting with the black dog.
Mm-hmm.
It had been used beforehand. And yeah, it's what you're saying. People don't deal with it. They bottle up their pain and anger until there's no way out. And also, to be honest, the mental health care facilities in this country are absolutely terrible. I've had a great deal of dealings with them, and underfunded and undertrained, basically, I'd say.
Yeah.
The government keeps crowing about how much money it puts into it. But it's not enough, and it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? I mean, I think things are improving. People are able to talk about their emotions more, but it's not enough,
They
right?
are in some places. I think there's much more of a macho culture up in the Newcastle area
Yeah.
than in many other areas of the country.
And the thing about drinking, I mean, I think that's or when we were growing up, Professor A, that was the thing, right? Everybody just drank through it. I think fingers crossed, things are improving for the better. There's less drinking these days.
Yeah, to some extent. According to what's her name, Chrissy Giles from the BBC, don't know. She said peak booze took place in 2004. It was the year that Brits drank more than they had done for a century and more than they have done in the decade since. So that was 10 years ago. 2004. I don't remember it. Probably drinking too much.
Good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well,
So, would you like a quote? Quote?
we haven't finished.
Your quote? We haven't finished. I thought we had.
No.
Oh, right.
Hang on. There's a verse. There's a chorus. We close our eyes, learn our pain. All the dead boys. Oh no, it's just repeats, right? All the dead boys. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, it's a short song, and it manages to fit in 2 lines about 100 times each. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a song. This was his first single, we said, didn't we? I think.
We did not say that, but
I thought we did. He released the Dead Boys EP before the Hypersonic Missiles album.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very popular song live.
Yeah. Seen the video?
I have. I don't. A long time
ago. He's kind of singing amongst a group of
yes,
boys who are kind of like almost like in an army barracks type situation. Yeah, it's a tough song to sing, but I think it's he spoke about that it was important. He didn't want he said this one was one of the first ones he wrote and he wrote it about a friend who died. And he didn't want to sort of profit from his friend's death. And then later on, he decided to release it. And then he had this personal story about someone who came up to him at a gig who was driving somewhere about to top themselves, and they heard this song, and they didn't. And 6 months later, they were at a gig and told him that his song saved him. So, well done,
Yeah.
Sam Fender. Please seek help if you're dealing with the black dog.
Absolutely. You want to quote a couple of
Yep.
quotes?
Quote me up, Buttercup.
Yeah, you're right. Song partly inspired by The Cure's 1979 track "Boys Don't Cry." Of that,
No, 1979.
1979.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep. We were very young then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not good being old, is it? About that, he said, it's the same today, as he's talking to the son. As a boy, you're not meant to show your emotions, but if you don't have a job or any prospects, you're going to be depressed, and it will be much worse if you can't express that. I hate the term because it's become a buzzword, but it's toxic masculinity, which is something he often writes about, saying he doesn't like it. And the second quote from an interview with NME, it's a song about male suicide, particularly in my hometown. I lost some friends very close to me because of that. This song came from that place, and I've been playing it to other people ever since. It's raised a conversation. I realised how much of a present issue it is. Everybody that I spoke to from all different parts of the country have all got a connection to someone they've lost. It really opened my eyes to how much of an issue it is. If it gets to one person and they feel like they should reach out and talk to somebody, then it's done a good job. So that's what he said. Yeah, he's done a good job.
Yeah, good job, Sam.
And some figures. On average, 84 men take their own lives in the UK every week. And that was when this came out, I think, so probably more now, after COVID and all that. You stop beeping your computer. And apparently research has shown there are more men who commit suicide than women, although research suggests that more women experience suicidal thoughts. There you go.
Well, yeah, so please seek help.
Yes.
And please use this song as a bit of help to address it. Okay. Sting.
Sting you.
It is time for Professor J's word count.
Give me your guess.
Well, as we said, it's a short song, but lots of words. I'm going to go 255.
Very good. You're getting good at this. So 229 total with unique 57, which is back to the original assumption from Ben
Right.
Folds, that there was between 45 and 55 unique words in a song, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
This has been a dark episode, so I think it's time to brighten it up with our super quiz, unless you have anything else to say.
I don't have anything else to say. We've done our 3 songs from Sam Fender today. We have 6 more to do over 2 more episodes. So bring your happy pills.
Okay. So this is a quiz. I'm going to name 12 bands, of which 6 of them have had at least one top 100 song, and the other 6 are made up.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to go through the list first,
Yes.
and then I will go through again, and you tell me what you think. Okay. I'll try not to laugh. So group 1 is A-Teens with them. The second one is Strawberry Alarm Clock. Number 3 is Hoobastank. Number 4 is Porcupine Playhouse. Number 5, Iron Butterfly. Number 6, Incredible Bongo Band. Number 7, Carrot Slays Republican. Number 8, Safari Avalanche. Number 9, The Electric Prunes. Number 10, Toad the Wet Sprocket. Number 11, The Trashmen. And finally, number 12, coming in, it's The Progeny. Okay.
So, are you saying if they're a real band, then
Are
they've
they a
had
real band or not?
Yes, so the top 100 thing doesn't matter.
Not really, no. But the ones that are real have had at least one top 100 hit. Okay, we'll go back through. A, teens.
So 6 of them are right.
Mm-hmm.
False.
That is incorrect. This is a real band. Sometimes it's written A hyphen teen, sometimes A star teens. They started off as a Swedish teenage tribute band to ABBA, hence
That's a
the
great name for a band.
ABBA teens.
Yes.
There we go. Next one was Strawberry Alarm Clock.
I thought that one was real, but then I think about 8 or 9 of them are real, so that's a problem. We'll say true.
And it's false.
Ah,
Okay. Hoobastank.
yes, definitely.
Definitely real. Do you know their main song?
No, I know they're sort of new metal.
Yeah, new metal. It's more sort of indie rock. So they did a song called Reason, which was released in 2004. You definitely know it. It's a really good song. You're the reason I do. You've definitely heard this one. Okay, next one. Porcupine Playhouse.
There's definitely one called Porcupine something. I'm not sure which Playhouse. We'll say false.
What?
False.
False. Correct. It is false. The band you're thinking of is Porcupine Tree, which is Stephen Wilson, who is really good. Go listen to his podcast once you finish listening to this. Next one is Iron Butterfly.
Absolutely, Inigo Davida.
Aha, very good. So what do you know about Inagada Davida?
It was meant to be in the Garden of Eden, I believe. It's a slurred version. I also know it was in The Simpsons, where the Reverend said, "That sounds like rock and or roll."
Correct. So Inagada Davida is a 17-minute song released in 1968, taking up the entire second side of their album. As you said, it is a translation of In the Garden of Eden. The lyrics in the song are actually a love song from Adam to Eve. It has a 2.5-minute drum solo,
Nice.
as well as a guitar solo and an organ solo. VH1 in 2009 named it the 24th greatest hard rock song of all time.
Well, it's one of the founding songs of heavy metal, isn't it? So I think it's probably its influence as much as the actual song.
Yeah, I think influence. Also, I'm not a big fan of it. It's also in the 1986 film Manhunter. You know that film?
I think I've seen it. But I don't...
It's playing in the final scene, so the most critical scene.
Is it not something to do with the Hannibal Lecter movies or something?
I don't know. There's a guy killing someone quite nastily, and then
I think it is a version of the earliest Hannibal Lecter novel before they hit on Anthony Hopkins. I could be
wrong. There's some great piano work, and then at one point, you should listen to it. At one point, the guitar makes an amazing elephant noise. It's brilliant. Yeah, you have to listen to it to believe it. So you mentioned that it was kind of a garbled in the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
According to the drummer Ron Bushy, organist vocalist Doug Ingle wrote the song one evening while drinking an entire gallon of Red Mountain wine. When the inebriated Ingle then played the song for Bushy, who wrote down the lyrics for him, he was slurring his words so badly that what was supposed to be in the Garden of Eden was interpreted by Bushy as Inagada Davida. There's the famous bit when in The Simpsons, Bart sneaks this into the serum, he sneaks the music in for the organist, and he sneaks the lyrics. And I'm happy that I knew that because I often say that sounds like rock and or roll. I couldn't remember where it was from. I didn't realize it was from The Simpsons. Slayer have covered it.
Oh.
And for me, it is Guns N' Roses in the Garden of Eden is a direct copy.
You think so?
Yeah.
So that's the one with the bloop, or was that the garden?
It's the one with the bloop. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, so it's a lot shorter.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
All right, next one. Incredible bongo band.
Well, there was the Incredible String Band, so I'm going to say false.
It's a real band. They are most famous for their Apache hit from 1973, which you would recognize. And it is basically an instrumental, mainly with bongos. And I chose them because they released a mere 8-minute version of Inagada da Vida that was a higher charting than the other one. Okay, Carrot Slays Republican.
It's got to be false, surely. No, it's true. False.
False, correct. Safari Avalanche.
There's a band called Safari and there's the Avalanches, but whether there's one with both of them, I'd say no, false.
Correct. That's made up. The Electric Prunes.
Definitely yes.
Yeah. Do you know their biggest hit?
It wasn't it Bongo from U2's Mate? No, it's not. That was something else. It's Electric something else.
No. So they're a group from the 60s. Their most famous, the track that I most know of is their 1967 hit, I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night.
Oh, I know the title, but I don't know the song.
Yeah, the lead singer's playing a zither, one of those sort of instruments with like 16 strings on it, something like that. The Suffragettes do a really good cover of I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night. Maybe we'll put the link down below.
Just like the links on Believe by Chemical Brothers that we said we would.
Yes, so in case it's not there, go Google Suffragettes and I Had Too Much to Dream. It's a really good version. Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Yes, definitely. Had a song called Hold Her Down.
Well, their most famous, successful song was All I Want in 1992. Do you know where the name comes from?
It comes from Monty Python.
It does, hence I said earlier.
I don't know the
well, I will give you the quote. Rex Stardust lead. So this is it's a news. This is from a fake news, not that sort of fake news. A pretend news report from Monty Python. This is it. Rex Stardust, lead Electric Triangle with Toad the Wet Sprocket, has had to have an elbow removed following their recent successful worldwide tour of Finland. Flamboyant, ambidextrous Rex apparently fell off the back of a motorcycle. Ooh. Fell off the back of a motorcyclist, most likely, quipped ace drummer Jumbo McClooney on hearing of the accident. Plans are already afoot for a major tour of Iceland.
Oh, good stuff.
There we go. The Trashmen.
Yeah, true.
That's false.
Well,
Progeny.
it's got to be no. It's got to be Prodigy. Sure. So false, it's true, isn't it?
It is false, correct. So let's count up the scores. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 50%. That's a solid pass, Professor A. Okay.
Well, that was fun. Enjoyed that. We should do more.
Lightens the mood.
Yeah,
after Sam Fender's depressing songs.
Yeah. Oh well. Right. So, unless you have anything else to say,
no, I'm good.
We shall bid you a fond adieu, and see you all next time for more Sam Fender lyrics. Lovely.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.